Good morning, members of the press, persons watching from home and abroad. Misogyny and disrespect have no place in our society. The prejudice against women and girls in our society, this has no place here. Yet, women in leadership are too often judged not by our vision or record, but by insults, innuendo, and personal attacks. This is not just wrong for me. It is wrong for every woman in Saint Lucia and for every young girl who dares to lead. As someone who grew up with 6 brothers, I knew from an early age that women were treated differently to men. Women were not given the same liberties as men, thereby placing them in a lower social status. And I have always fought for equality. For too long, women in Saint Lucia have been disrespected, abused, and silenced. We know the stories. Take, for instance, our police force. Women came forward against a senior police officer for allegations of sexual misconduct. And rather than being investigated, this man has been promoted. We hear about crime and public safety. But what measures are being taken to protect the women in our police force? And what does the ongoing failure to do so say about our system? The female reporter who says she was shoved out of Parliament. Then later, we see the news of her being threatened with arrest for speaking up. And every single week, a minister uses his television show to shame women, insult women, demean women. And you know, he will make up all kind of lies. This minister doesn't know me, but will make up all kind of lies about my personal life, untruths. I've always worked for the bank for the last 25 years, but he will make up lies as if I work for somebody else. And his surrogates, the SLP surrogates, will go on Facebook and spread those lies. But I say to him, cease and desist. This is not entertainment. This is misogyny. And misogyny destroys lives. And while these attacks continue, what is most alarming is the silence from the Prime Minister and his cabinet. Their silence is not neutrality. It is a failure of leadership, a refusal to uphold the dignity of women in this nation. That silence emboldens misogyny and signals to society that such behavior is tolerated. And so, I say, enough. We will not be silent. We will not be shamed. We will not allow our daughters to inherit the same culture of fear and disrespect that too many of our mothers endured. This is our fight. And to the men of Saint Lucia, we need you, not as protectors of women's bodies, but as partners in building a society of respect, equality, and justice. Men, we need you. It ends here. It ends now. It ends with us, determined women and men who stand beside us. But the abuse of women, it does not stand alone. It collides with poverty. And it is women, especially single mothers, who carry the heaviest load. The reality for women is clear in every community. Too many women are trapped in poverty, juggling work, children, and household responsibilities on limited incomes. Women head approximately 40% of households in Saint Lucia, yet they carry the heaviest burdens when prices rise. We are now facing what the world calls she-flation. She-flation, rising prices for groceries, school supplies, and utilities hurt everyone, but women feel it first and most. Consider this. It is end of August, and school reopens in about a week. Mothers across Saint Lucia are standing in store aisles, trying to stretch every dollar, literally stretch every dollar. They are forced to choose. Do I buy uniforms or textbooks? Shoes or lunch supplies? One mother told me last week she could not buy both uniforms and new shoes and books for her child. She had to choose. These are the real consequences of rising costs, not abstract numbers, but families struggling to start the school year. And yet, while families struggle and women make these sacrifices, the Prime Minister and his cabinet remain silent for too long. No policies, no urgency, no acknowledgement of the hardships families face until we, the United Workers' Party, force their hands, because we understand what you are going through. That is weak leadership by the SLP administration. Whilst VAT was removed on 70 food items, I would like to remind you, the women of Saint Lucia, that this government forgot you. They forgot about the single mothers. They never considered the removal of VAT on feminine hygiene products and on the sanitary napkins. It was only on Tuesday, August 19th, that the House of Assembly passed legislation to permanently remove VAT on feminine hygiene products. A clear indication of the government's lack of concern for struggling families. Certain talk show hosts and SLP operatives, they know themselves, will spin the truth about sanitary napkins. But the facts are there. VAT was not removed on sanitary napkins until Tuesday. Stop the lies. The small relief you feel from the VAT reduction, it is not because this government suddenly cares. No, it's not because they care about the cost of living. It is because the United Workers' Party, together with your voices, your pressure, force their hand. If you are feeling some relief at the supermarket, remember this. It was won for you, not handed to you. It was won for you because of the pressure by the United Workers' Party. While families were struggling and women were sacrificing, this government remained silent until we made them act. Saint Lucia needs leadership that acts, not one that stays silent in the face of injustice and the hardship that we women face. No mother should have to choose between shoes and textbooks. No worker should feel the weight of rising prices alone. And no citizen should have to endure silence from those who claim to lead. In closing, I say it ends now because we will fight. Misogyny and disrespect have no place in Saint Lucia. Not for me, not for any woman, not for our girls. Sheflation hits women hardest, and we will fight it. The VAT relief you are enjoying today, we want it for you. No mother should have to choose between shoes and books. This is what real leadership addresses. Silence from the Prime Minister and Cabinet is not neutrality. It is a failure of leadership. Leadership by this SLP administration. SLP must go. Thank you.